Mr. Chanel, do I have your consent to proceed with the marriage of your daughter Krysten to Mr. Brett Mendel? Please be seated. There we go. Good. With the consent of Krysten's parents, and on behalf of Krysten, I'd like to welcome you all here this afternoon. You've been invited because your love, your encouragement, and your support have been so valuable to Brett and Krysten. They felt it important that you be here to witness and celebrate this new chapter of their lives. Brett and Krysten, although we met remotely, when you were answering the questions I asked, I came to discover that you weren't only in love, but you were each other's best friend. A best friend is someone who seems to know you better than you know yourself. They can understand you. You can discuss your hopes, your dreams, your ideas. That best friend can make you feel safe when nobody else in the world can. And it's a safety that is sometimes needed, and again, only that other person can do that. As a best friend, you appreciate each other's thoughts, your needs. As a matter of fact, your best friend sometimes understands your needs better than you do. They're not the person who tells you what to do, but they're the person that you want to have next to you when you're filtering out your thoughts and your ideas. Actually, they don't have to say anything at all. Just being together with your best friend is all that you need. But you two already know that. And you know what? So does Niji and Bonnie. As you two have found out over the past years together, all you really have to do is be yourselves to be truly loved. It takes no special task. It takes no special effort. Sometimes all you have to do is just hold hands. When you joined me, I asked you to hold hands to relieve just a little bit of those nerves, but also because it's believed that your hands are a connection to the heart, and holding hands is a way for two hearts to connect to one another. I'd like you now to think about the hands you're holding, because these are indeed the hands of your best friend, young, strong, full of love, holding your hands on your wedding day as you promise to love each other today, tomorrow, and forever. These are the hands that will work alongside as together you build your future. These are the hands that will passionately love and cherish you through the years with the slightest touch and comfort you like no other. These are the hands that will hold you when fear or grief fills your mind. And these are the hands that will wipe away your tears, tears of joy and tears of sorrow. These are the hands that will hold your family as one. These are the hands that will give you strength when you need it. And lastly, these are the hands that even when wrinkled and aged, will still be searching for yours, still giving you the same unspoken tenderness with just a touch. Krysten and Brett, your family and friends who are already married will be the first to tell you that marriage is not a free-flowing commitment that a couple can allow to go any way it runs. It is an institution. And an institution needs to have a solid foundation upon which it can be built. In her piece, Foundations of Marriage, Regina Hill writes, "Love, trust, and forgiveness are the foundations of marriage. In marriage, many days will bring happiness, while other days may be sad. But together, your two hearts can overcome anything. In marriage, believe me, all of moments will not be exciting, and they're all not going to be romantic. And sometimes worries and anxieties will be overwhelming. But together, two hearts that accept will comfort each other. Recollections of past joys, pains, shared feelings, that's going to be the glue that holds everything together during even the worst and most insecure moments. Reaching out each other to as a friend and becoming the confidant and companion that each one needs is the true magic and beauty of any two people together. It's inspiring in each other's dream or a feeling and having faith in each other. It's not giving up, even when all odds say to quit. It's allowing each other to be vulnerable, to be himself or herself, even when the opinions or thoughts aren't in total agreement or exactly what you'd like them to be. It's getting involved and showing interest in each other, really listening and being available, the way any best friend should be. So, there's exactly 3 things that need to be remembered in marriage if it's to be a mutual bond: love, trust, and forgiveness. Now, you might think this is a modern reading, contemporary, but the ideas aren't new. They don't come from studies. They don't come from polls. Actually, the idea was shared by the Apostle Paul when he writes, over 2,000 years ago, and now these 3 remain: faith, hope, and love. But kids, the greatest of these is love. Brett and Krysten, I think you've heard the saying, it's written in the stars. Well, perhaps there's more truth and fiction in that, because it was an astronomy class that you met. Although projected on a screen or perhaps a planetarium ceiling, maybe those star formations you were studying were telling you that you would meet and fall in love. Brett, as Krysten got to know you, she came to realize how kind and thoughtful you were and are. You were courteous and treated her like the lady she is. And in today's world, I hope you appreciate how rare that is. You made her feel important in your words and actions. She came to appreciate and accept your compatibility. Now, I stopped and asked her what she meant by compatibility. There was a moment of thought, but Krysten had no problems telling me that your ability to hold a good conversation, your ambitions, your respect, and then there came the smile when she mentioned interests, because it was at that first time where I came to learn of your mutual love of Worlds of Warcraft and Pokemon cards. Over the time you spent together, you have on occasion seen that sparkle leave Krysten's eyes. When that happens, your kind words and, even more important, your wonderful hugs can always make her feel better. But sometimes when those words and hugs just don't do the trick, try doing some of your famous crows. I have a feeling that'll bring the twinkle back. Brett, over the many years to come, Krysten wants you to remember that she's so very proud of you. And no matter what happens, the 2 of you will get through it together. Krysten, I want to take you back to astronomy class again. And I hope your professor happened to mention how each star has its own unique elegance and is beautiful unto itself. So it's true for you. No one present this afternoon will deny your beauty. And it was this beauty that so attracted Brett. As Brett got to know you, he came to realize, once again, with everybody present, that your beauty isn't only external, but it's internal as well. Your many interests, your ideas, and yes, a little bit of your nerdiness captured Brett's heart. Traits that endear you more and more to Brett as time goes on. Krysten, in a world where so many try to change others to meet their wants and needs, you accepted Brett for who he is, and you stuck with him through the years you've been together. It is for this and so much more that he stands by your side this afternoon. Although it's infrequent, the trials and tribulations of life can get to Brett, and that's when you really shine. The way you hold him, comfort him, rub his back, and reassure him that it's all going to be okay almost always makes him feel better. But in those rare times when even that doesn't do the trick, I want you just to look at him, talk to him, because your lip movements and your facial expressions are almost always going to bring that twinkle back into his eye as well. But as the days turn to weeks, the weeks to months, and the months to years, Brett never wants you to doubt the fact that he values your opinion, that he will always be there for you, and no matter what, you two are one solid team. May I have the rings, please? I expect my clumsy fingers to separate those. Brett and Krysten, the promise which you'll be exchanging in the afternoon are going to be inscribed forever in your minds and in your hearts. But words are fleeting. So I ask you to let these rings serve as a reminder of your feelings you have in your hearts at this very moment. These rings are the valuable, tangible symbols of your commitment to one another, of your emotional and spiritual connection, and announce to the world that you've been found. When you look at your wedding band, remember the great gift that you have been given and all that you have in one another. Remember with whom you have someone to share this life, and for that reason, neither of you will ever walk alone. Krysten, Brett, your vows were spoken lovingly in private, but I would now like to ask the following questions and remind you both that you are performing acts of complete faith in front of those you consider family and friends. In a world where faith often falls short of expectation, it is a tribute to you, who with two hands joined, with two hearts joined, in perfect faith I ask. Brett, do you promise to laugh with Krysten and share her joy in times of happiness, comfort her in times of need, share in her dreams, her goals, her interests, grow together through the years, together, respect and love her until the end of your years? So promising, would you please place the ring that you have for Krysten on her finger? That's a symbol of good luck. Did you know that? There you go. Krysten, do you take Brett to be your partner, loving what you know of him and trusting what you do not yet know? Do you anticipate the chance to grow together, getting to know the man he will become and fall in love a little more every day? Do you promise to love and cherish him through whatever life may bring? Would you please take the ring that you have for Brett and place that on his finger, hopefully not backwards? Ladies and gentlemen, a wedding is about symbols. You have two rings, commonplace. You have a setting which is beautiful. But these symbols are significant. They make an idea and a value concrete and physical, something we can touch, something we can see. They're helpful because they serve as a powerful reminder of time, of a place, of a memory, a feeling, and even a promise that's faded over time. They're a jump ahead of me. That's what happens when you get old. What we're going to do now is a ceremony called a hand fasting ceremony, and it's a symbol. It's one of the oldest wedding symbols in the world. It is found in almost every culture. In joining hands, Brett and Krysten symbolize how freely they offer their lives to one another. And in fastening their hands together, the ribbon symbolizes how Brett and Krysten leave this place today with lives now bound up together. How after today, an idea of two stories come together and two sets of hopes and desires for the future are joined in commitment and intention. Very special because it's an infinity. Bet you never knew where that came from, did you? See? You can go home and say you learned some trivia today. Brett and Krysten, at this time, I don't want you to look at me. I want you to take a look at your guests, at your friends, and your families. And know and feel and remember that this presence today, in this marriage, you are each deeply known and deeply loved, not only by each other, but by everybody who is here this afternoon. All of your guests have precious and personal memories, now adding this wonderful memory to what they hope will be a long list of happy events for the future. Although you are now a couple, I ask you please to remember, be gentle with yourselves. You are children of the universe, no less than the beautiful trees above you, nor the stars. You have a right to be here. And whether you know it or not, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Whatever your labors and your aspirations in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. And most importantly, love each other in good times and bad, in the only way you know, completely and forever. Brett and Krysten, I cannot begin to tell you what a privilege and an honor it is to have the sanction allowed me by the state of California to announce you husband and wife. An announcement I would ask you please to seal with a kiss.
Moving forward, using all my breath. Making love to you was never second best. I saw the world crashing all around your face, never really knowing it was always mesh and lace. I'll stop the world and melt with you. You've seen the difference and it's getting better all the time. There's nothing you and I won't do. I'll stop the world and melt with you. Dream of better lives, the kind which never hate. Trapped in a state of imaginary grace.
No, don't sit down yet, because this isn't over. Because you're all so important to Krysten and Brett, rather than the traditional photographs where each hold each other, and no, not them. They would like you all to join me up here because they want a group photo of all of you. What else would be more appropriate for those two? So come on up. And you know what? However works. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the only way it should happen. And you're all thinking, he forgot something. No, I didn't. I'd like to introduce for the very first time, Mr. and Mrs. Brett Mindell.
Hey, I did it. Never mind it. I just wanted to make her feel better.
I'll stop the world and melt with you. You've seen the difference and it's getting better all the time. There's nothing you and I won't do. I'll stop the world and melt with you.
So sorry, here we go. 1, 2, and everyone smiling. And now I'm going to make up through the speaking one. Yeah! Krysten and Brett, go ahead and smooth, and everybody else, I just want arms in the air. You're so excited. They did it.